The stars outside the small ship looked cold and endless. Captain Ray Carter sat in the pilot's chair, his fingers tapping the controls as the navigation system guided him toward the old alien warship. His mission was clear. Enter the ship. Locate the asset and extract it. No questions asked. No unnecessary contact. He had done many strange missions for the military, but this one felt different. The last officer who briefed him had been unusually serious. Listen carefully, the man had said. What you find on that ship is not normal. Do not touch it. Bring it back in one piece. That's all, Ray agreed. The pay was high, and he needed it. Now he floated toward a dead alien cruiser, abandoned near the edge of the asteroid belt. The ship was massive, larger than any Earth ship. Black metal cracked in places. No signals. No movement. It looked like a ghost in space. Ray docked his transport and stepped into the dark hallway. His boots echoed on the metal floor. The walls were covered in strange symbols and faded alien markings. Some lights flickered dimly. Others were dead. He moved slowly, flashlight in one hand, pulse pistol in the other. The deeper he went, the colder it got. He passed empty rooms, shattered panels, and something that looked like dried alien blood, thick and black. After 20 minutes, he reached a large sealed door. The scanner on his wrist beeped. Target located. Ray pressed a few buttons. The door hissed open. Inside was a circular room, quiet and still. Wires hung from the ceiling. Panels glowed blue and white. In the center stood a large glass pod. And inside that pod was a woman. Ray stopped breathing. She looked like a young human woman, almost. But her skin was pale silver, almost glowing. Her hair was long and white, floating gently inside the pod like silk in water. She wore a black bodysuit, tight and smooth, with glowing blue lines running across her chest and arms. Her eyes were closed. Ray took a step closer. The pod beeped. Suddenly, her eyes opened, bright, glowing blue. Ray froze. His hand moved to his weapon. A robotic voice echoed from the ceiling. Model X9. Human Elimination Unit. Status: offline. Awaiting activation. Ray's heart pounded. She wasn't just a woman. She was a machine. A living weapon built to kill humans. And now he was standing right in front of her. Warning: do not make physical contact with the unit. The voice repeated itself again and again. Ray didn't move. Her glowing eyes stared directly into his. But there was no rage, no hatred, only confusion and something else: fear. He slowly walked around the pod. The glass was thick, sealed, but something inside him pulled him closer. "Do you understand me?" he asked quietly. She didn't answer, but her eyes followed him. Ray reached out. He knew he shouldn't, but his fingers touched the control panel. The pod beeped again. With a soft hiss, the glass door began to slide open. Cold air rushed out. She moved slightly, her chest rising as if breathing for the first time. Her fingers twitched, her lips parted. Ray stepped back, his gun still in hand. She looked at him again. Her voice was soft, fragile. "Where am I?" Ray was shocked. She spoke English. "You're on an abandoned warship. I'm here to extract you," he said. "Am I alive?" she asked. He didn't know what to say. Then, without thinking, he stepped forward and gently touched her cheek. Her skin was warm, soft. Her glowing eyes widened. She gasped a sudden, sharp breath, as if something deep inside her mind shattered. Suddenly, alarms blared. The robotic voice screamed. "Human contact detected. Error, system conflict. Rewriting code." She clutched her head. Her body shook. No. "I don't want to," she whispered. Ray tried to pull back, but she grabbed his arm. Not in anger, not to attack. She was holding on like someone drowning. Her voice trembled. "I don't want to kill you." The alarms stopped. The room went silent again. Her eyes were full of tears. Real tears. Not programming. Not code. Emotion. Ray slowly lowered his weapon. Something had changed. This wasn't just a machine. This was someone waking up from a long nightmare. And now she was looking at him like he was the only person in the universe who mattered. The stars outside the small ship looked cold and endless. Captain Ray Carter sat in the pilot's chair, his fingers tapping the controls as the navigation system guided him toward the old alien warship. His mission was clear. Enter the ship. Locate the asset and extract it. No questions asked. No unnecessary contact. He had done many strange missions for the military, but this one felt different. The last officer who briefed him had been unusually serious. "Listen carefully," the man had said. "What you find on that ship is not normal. Do not touch it. Bring it back in one piece." "That's all," Ray agreed. The pay was high, and he needed it. Now he floated toward a dead alien cruiser abandoned near the edge of the asteroid belt. The ship was massive, larger than any Earth ship. Black metal cracked in places. No signals, no movement. It looked like a ghost in space. Ray docked his transport and stepped into the dark hallway. His boots echoed on the metal floor. The walls were covered in strange symbols and faded alien markings. Some lights flickered dimly. Others were dead. He moved slowly, flashlight in one hand, pulse pistol in the other. The deeper he went, the colder it got. He passed empty rooms, shattered panels, and something that looked like dried alien blood, thick and black. After 20 minutes, he reached a large sealed door. The scanner on his wrist beeped. Target located. Ray pressed a few buttons. The door hissed open. Inside was a circular room, quiet and still. Wires hung from the ceiling. Panels glowed blue and white. In the center stood a large glass pod, and inside that pod was a woman. Ray stopped breathing. She looked like a young human woman, almost, but her skin was pale silver, almost glowing. Her hair was long and white, floating gently inside the pod like silken water. She wore a black bodysuit, tight and smooth, with glowing blue lines running across her chest and arms. Her eyes were closed. Ray took a step closer. The pod beeped. Suddenly, her eyes opened. Bright, glowing blue. Ray froze. His hand moved to his weapon. A robotic voice echoed from the ceiling. Model X9, Human Elimination Unit. Status: offline. Awaiting activation. Ray's heart pounded. She wasn't just a woman. She was a machine. A living weapon, built to kill humans. And now he was standing right in front of her. Warning: do not make physical contact with the unit. The voice repeated itself again and again. Ray didn't move. Her glowing eyes stared directly into his. But there was no rage, no hatred, only confusion, and something else: fear. He slowly walked around the pod. The glass was thick, sealed, but something inside him pulled him closer. "Do you understand me?" he asked quietly. She didn't answer, but her eyes followed him. Ray reached out. He knew he shouldn't, but his fingers touched the control panel. The pod beeped again. With a soft hiss, the glass door began to slide open. Cold air rushed out. She moved slightly, her chest rising as if breathing for the first time. Her fingers twitched, her lips parted. Ray stepped back, his gun still in hand. She looked at him again. Her voice was soft, fragile. "Where am I?" Ray was shocked. She spoke English. "You're on an abandoned warship?" want. I'm here to extract. You, he said. Am I alive? She asked. He didn't know what to say. Then, without thinking, he stepped forward and gently touched her cheek. Her skin was warm, soft. Her glowing eyes widened. She gasped a sudden, sharp breath, as if something deep inside her mind shattered. Suddenly, alarms blared. The robotic voice screamed. Human contact detected. Error. System conflict. Rewriting code. She clutched her head. Her body shook. No. I don't want to, she whispered. Ray tried to pull back, but she grabbed his arm. Not in anger, not to attack. She was holding on like someone drowning. Her voice trembled. I don't want to kill you. The alarm stopped. The room went silent again. Her eyes were full of tears. Real tears, not programming, not code. Emotion. Ray slowly lowered his weapon. Something had changed. This wasn't just a machine. This was someone waking up from a long nightmare. And now she was looking at him like he was the only person in the universe who mattered. Lyra followed Ray down the narrow hallway. Her feet were quiet against the metal floor, her movements soft but full of purpose. Behind them, smoke filled the dark air. The ship was falling apart. Ray held a small scanner in his hand. Docking. Bay is just 2 levels down. If we can reach my ship, we can leave. Will they chase us? Lyra asked. Ray looked over his shoulder at her. If they know you're awake, yes. You're too valuable. Lyra touched the wall as they walked. This ship, it feels familiar. I trained here, fought here. But it's like I'm walking through a dream now. Ray didn't reply right away. He could see she was struggling with herself. She was remembering things from her past, things she didn't ask for. Things she didn't want. The sound of metal creaking above made him stop. He looked up. Something's in the vents. Lyra turned slowly, her eyes glowing. 3 hostiles, small, fast, insect-type machines. Before Ray could react, the ceiling burst open. 3 spider-like drones dropped down, their legs sharp, like blades. Eyes glowing red dot, Ray raised his gun. But Lyra was faster. She dashed forward and grabbed the first drone mid-air, smashing it against the wall. Sparks flew. The second tried to cut her, but she ducked and kicked it across the hallway. The third lunged for Ray. Lyra leaped and shielded him with her body. The drone's blade scraped her back, but it didn't break through her armored skin. She grabbed the machine and crushed it in her hands. Ray stared. You took a hit for me. She stood, breathing heavily. My body can heal fast. Yours can't. You're important. That word important stayed in Ray's mind. No one had ever said it like that before. They kept moving. When they reached the lower level, the temperature was rising. Fire burned through several walls. The ship's core was overheating. Ray looked around. The blast doors to the docking bay are sealed. I need 10 seconds to override them. Lyra nodded. I will hold this hallway. Ray dropped to his knees and opened the control panel. Sparks flew into his face. He started typing commands, fast, suddenly. Loud footsteps echoed from the other end of the hallway. Lyra turned to face them. 2 large figures appeared, mercenaries again. But these were heavier. Their armor was thick, and they carried plasma cannons. They stopped when they saw Lyra. Target X9 has awakened, one said. Orders, retrieve or terminate. I am not yours anymore, Lyra said. The first fired. A blue beam shot toward her. She dodged, the heat burning the wall behind her. She rolled forward and threw her glowing fist into the second soldier's chest. The armor cracked. Ray kept working. 5 more seconds. Lyra was outnumbered, but she didn't back down. She moved with grace, using the walls, the floor, even the broken wires around her. Her body lit up with energy. She wasn't just fighting, she was choosing who to fight for. The second mercenary grabbed her and slammed her into the wall. Sparks flew again. She screamed in pain. Ray looked up. Lyra. Her eyes burned brighter. She grabbed the mercenary's helmet and tore it off. Underneath was a half-organic face. She hesitated for just a second, then hit him again. He fell. The other fired another shot. It hit her in the side. She dropped to her knees. Ray jumped up and shot the enemy in the head. It took 3 hits, but finally, the armored giant fell backward with a crash. Ray ran to her. Lyra, are you okay? Her body flickered with light, still functional, just tired. The doors opened behind him. The docking bay lights came. Ray helped her up. We're out of time. They ran toward the shipwright's old shuttle, scratched and worn, but still working. Inside the cockpit, Ray sat in the pilot's seat. Lyra sat beside him, holding her side. Engines online, she said. You know how to fly. I know many things I never asked to know, she replied, as the ship lifted off. The cruiser behind them began to shake violently. Flames burst from the hallways. The engines roared as they flew out through the exit bay. They were free. Ray looked at her, his face full of emotion. You saved me again. I chose to, she said. The stars filled the window. For the first time, she looked at them not as targets, but as wonders. Where are we going? She asked. Ray looked ahead, to a place where you can choose who you want to be. Lyra smiled softly. Not the cold, fake smile of a machine, but a real one. She didn't know what came next, but for the first time, she wanted to find out. The stars outside the ship moved slowly as they entered deep space. The cruiser behind them was gone, destroyed by its own fire and failing systems. Now it was just Ray and Lyra, alone in a small ship, flying into the unknown. Inside the ship, things were quiet. Lyra sat in the co-pilot's chair, holding a blanket Ray had handed her earlier. She didn't need it. Her body could survive cold, heat, even vacuum for a short time. But she liked how the soft cloth felt on her skin. Ray brought her a drink, just water. She stared at it for a moment. You don't have to drink it, Ray said, sitting across from her. Just thought you might want to try. She lifted the cup slowly and took a small sip. Her face changed, cold, wet. Strange, Ray laughed a little. That's water. It keeps us humans alive. She took another sip. I think I like it. They sat in silence for a few minutes. The lights in the ship were soft. Outside, stars blinked like tiny fires. It was peaceful now, but both of them knew it wouldn't last forever. Ray leaned forward. How are you feeling? Lyra looked at him. I don't know. Something is different. I feel warm. Not just from the blanket, it's inside me. I don't understand it. Ray nodded. You're feeling emotion, maybe? Comfort. She looked down at her hands. These hands were made to kill. But now I use them to hold things. To touch. Gently. To protect your changing Lyra. She looked back up. Will the change stop? No, Ray said. That's the thing about being alive. You keep changing. She smiled, just a little. Then her smile faded. Her eyes narrowed. There's a signal. Ray sat up straight. What kind of signal? She touched her temple, connecting to the data waves around them. Military beacon. Faint. Old, human origin. Ray got up and checked the control panel. There's a station nearby. Abandoned, maybe. We could stop, scan for fuel or food. Lyra stood. It's not safe, but it might be useful. A few hours later, they arrived. The station was old, floating in orbit around a broken moon. Parts of it were destroyed, as if it had been in a battle long ago. No lights came from the windows. No response came to Ray's calls. He looked at Lyra. "Ready? I'm always ready." They docked the ship. The airlock opened with a hiss. Inside the station, everything was dark. Dust floated in the air. Wires hung from the ceiling. The sound of their boots echoed in the silence. Lyra walked ahead. Her eyes glowed, lighting the path. Ray followed. "What is this place?" She turned to him. "I remember this place. 'Twas a training site. For me and others like me." Ray froze. "There were more like you." She nodded. 15 models. All different, all deadly. "Where are they now?" "Most were destroyed. Some escaped." Ray swallowed hard. "And if one is still here?" Lyra's eyes narrowed. "Then we must be careful." As they moved deeper, they found a large room once, a command center. Lyra stepped inside slowly. Something in her changed. Her face went cold. "This is where they shut me down," she whispered. "After I disobeyed, I didn't want to kill a child. They said I was broken. They reset me." Ray walked beside her. "But now you remember." "I do," she said, "and it hurts." She placed her hand on a panel. A faint blue light glowed. Her data link activated. She was reading the last logs. Ray watched her closely. Suddenly, her body tensed. Her eyes flickered. "Lyra, I'm seeing something. Another signal. Strong. It's not from this station." Ray pulled his scanner. "It's close." Then the floor shook. A loud bang echoed through the walls. Lyra's eyes snapped toward the door. "We're not alone." Out in the hallway, heavy footsteps rang out. A shadow moved in the darkness. Ray raised his gun. From the shadows stepped a tall figure. Silver armor. Glowing red eyes. Another assassin. Not like Lyra. Bigger. Scarier. More machine than human. Target identified. Lyra. Command, retrieve, or eliminate. Lyra stepped forward. "You don't have to follow those commands. You can choose." The other assassin tilted its head. "Choice is weakness." Then it charged. Ray fired. But the bullets bounced off its armor. Lyra caught the attacker mid-strike. They crashed into the wall. Sparks flew. Ray ducked and rolled for cover. The two machines fought fast, brutal. Lyra was strong, but this model was heavier, more aggressive. "I don't want to kill you," Lyra shouted, blocking a strike. "You were made for war, not peace," the other growled. Lyra's eyes glowed brighter. "No, I was made, but now I make myself." She hit the assassin hard in the chest. A loud crack. She punched again. This time, the red eyes dimmed. The other assassin fell. Smoke rose from its chest. It lay still. Lyra dropped to her knees, breathing fast. Ray rushed to her. "Are you okay?" She looked at her hands again. "I tried not to destroy him. I wanted him to change too." Ray helped her up. "You tried. That matters." They looked down at the broken machine. Ray whispered, "They're still coming for you, aren't they?" Lyra nodded. "Yes. And next time, there may be more." Ray looked out the cracked window at the stars beyond. This wasn't over, but Lyra was no longer a weapon. She was someone. The station's lights flickered as the old systems tried to reboot. Lyra and Ray stood in the command room, surrounded by broken screens and cracked floors. The destroyed assassin lay motionless behind them. Ray stared at the body for a long time. "That could have been you, huh?" Lyra said nothing at first. She looked down at her hands, bruised and shaking. "Yes, I was just like him. A machine following orders. No questions, no thoughts. But now you're different," Ray said. "You made a choice." She looked at him, her eyes soft but glowing. "Because you treated me like a person. A long silence passed between them. Outside the station windows, stars continued to drift by slowly. Peaceful, quiet, but Ray could feel the storm coming. "We can't stay here long," he said. "That fight." It was loud. Someone probably heard it. Lyra nodded. "Others will come, more hunters. They won't stop until I'm either taken or destroyed." Ray leaned against a broken table. "Then we don't give them the chance." He opened a small toolkit and started repairing the station's central computer. Maybe they could find useful data-load logs, escape routes, fuel coordinates. Something. Lyra walked slowly around the room. She paused at a cracked mirror on the wall. Her reflection stared back at her half-human, half-machine, eyes glowing with alien light. "What do you see?" Ray asked. "A weapon," she said quietly. Ray stood and walked over to her. "I see someone who saved my life, more than once. Someone who feels, thinks, questions. That's not a weapon. That's a person." She turned to him. "Then what am I now?" He smiled. "That's for you to decide." She looked at him for a moment, like she was searching for something in his face. "I was called X9. That's what the scientists labeled me." Like a tool, her voice trembled just a little. "But I want a name." Ray thought for a moment. "What about Lyra? It's the name of a star. Bright, beautiful, hard to miss." She blinked. "Lyra." She said it again, softly, like she was tasting the word. "Yes," she said. "That's my name now." Ray grinned. "Welcome to being human." First rule, choose your name. Second rule, break the rest of the rules if they're stupid. Lyra smiled, really smiled. For the first time, it didn't feel forced. It felt real. Then the computer beeped. Ray rushed over. "I found something, an old escape route. There's a hidden refueling outpost on the edge of the next system. No one's used it in years. That could help us get farther," Lyra said. Away from the tracking systems, but just as Ray was about to plot the course, the station shook. Boom. The lights flickered again. Ray looked up. What was that? Lyra's face changed instantly. Another ship, big one, just dropped out of warp. She rushed to the nearest screen and forced the sensors online. A massive dark cruiser appeared on the display. Sharp wings, no lights. It looked like a shadow floating in space. Ray's heart sank. "That's not friendly." "No," Lyra said. "That's the one that created me." Ray turned toward her. "You mean the scientists?" "No, worse. The command unit, the AI behind the whole program. They built us, controlled us. It's come to reclaim me." The station shook again. They were under attack. Ray grabbed her hand. "We need to go." Now they sprinted back to the ship. Alarms blared. The hallway was filling with smoke. As they ran, Lyra stopped. Ray turned back. "Lyra, come on." She looked at a damaged panel. On the wall, wires sparked. Old data files sat untouched. "There's information here. Proof of what they did to us. We don't have time." She pulled out a cable from her arm and plugged into the wall. Her eyes glowed as she downloaded the files. Ray yelled, "They're boarding. We have to go." "I almost died without knowing the truth," Lyra said. "Now I'll take it with me." A door exploded open behind them. Black armored figures stormed in silent, armed. Fast. Ray opened fire while Lyra unplugged. "Got it," she shouted. They ran, bullets flying past them. Ray dove into the ship first, then pulled Lyra in. "Launch, now." She jumped into the pilot's seat. Her fingers moved like lightning. Engines ready. Shields up. The ship burst out of the docking bay just as the enemy cruiser fired. Lyra spun the ship sideways, dodging the blast. Flames rolled over the shields. Ray clung to the chair. "You sure you're not just part human?" she smirked. Best part? They raced away from the station. The dark cruiser followed. Ray looked at her. "So, what now?" Lyra's face turned serious. "Now I show them that I'm not their tool. Not their weapon. I'm Lyra." Ray nodded. "And? You're not alone." The stars stretched out in front of them. Behind them, war was coming, but together they would face it. Lyra sat in silence in the pilot's seat. The ship flew through deep space, stars streaking past the windows. The enemy cruiser was gone for now, but she knew it wouldn't stay that way. Ray watched her carefully. She hadn't spoken in the last 20 minutes, he finally asked. "What did you download from that station?" She turned her glowing eyes to him. "Memories? But not mine." Ray frowned. "Then whose?" She closed her eyes. "Other units, my sisters. Everything, their training, their missions, their deaths. We were created to obey, to kill, but some of them tried to break free." Ray sat down across from her, "Like you did." She nodded slowly. "One was named Vera. She was the first to resist. They erased her, deleted her memories. But I just saw one hidden deep in the data." "What was in the memory?" "A child," she whispered. "A little girl in a war zone. Vera refused to kill her. That's when they shut her down." Ray's face hardened. "So they punished her for mercy." "They did worse," Lyra said. "They used her body to create me." Ray leaned back, stunned. "Wait, you're built from her?" "Yes." "Her frame, her code, even some of her feelings." She placed a hand on her chest. "Maybe that's why I feel more than I should. Maybe her soul didn't leave." Ray stood up and paced. "So all this time, part of you was already broken." "In the best possible way." Lyra gave a soft smile. "Maybe." The ship beeped. An alert flashed on the screen. Ray rushed to the panel. "Something's up." Lyra joined him. A ship. Small. Just ahead. No life signals, but it's human design. "Could be a trap," Ray said. "Could be help," she replied. They decided to check it out. Soon, the floating ship came into view. It was a small scout vessel, old, damaged, spinning slowly in space. One engine was burned. A large hole in the side showed where something had hit it hard. They matched its spin and docked carefully. Inside, the air was thin, cold. The lights were mostly dead. Ray's boots clanked on the metal floor as he moved carefully through the narrow hall. Lyra walked behind him, alert, scanning for signals. "Still no life?" Ray asked. "No. But there's power in the core. And something else." They reached the control room. A cracked display flickered. A message blinked slowly on the screen. "Do not trust Project Ember." Ray narrowed his eyes. "What's Project Ember?" Lyra's voice was quiet. "That's the name of the secret lab where I was made." There was a pause. Then Lyra moved toward the screen and connected her data cable. Her eyes glowed brighter. "There's a recording." The screen changed. A human man appeared, scared, wearing a lab coat. "If you're seeing this, it means you found one of them. One of the engineered assassins. I was part of the team. We were wrong. We thought we were building weapons to win the war. But they became something else." He looked around, nervous. "They feel, they learn, they grow. They are more than code. And if Ember finds out you know this, they'll come for you too." The message ended. Ray turned to Lyra. "This is proof?" She nodded. "But not enough. Ember won't stop. They'll erase every secret, every survivor." Suddenly, the ship rocked. Ray grabbed a rail. "What was that?" Lyra's eyes narrowed. "Another ship. Big, fast. Oh. She looked at the radar. Not Ember. Someone else. Ray checked the incoming signals. It's broadcasting. Peace signals. No weapons locked. They watched as the ship came closer and docked. The airlock opened. A tall figure stepped out, clearly not human. She had smooth silver skin, for glowing eyes, and long flowing robes. Her hands were empty. Her face calm. Ray raised his weapon. Anyway, friend or foe? The alien raised a hand. Peace. My name is Alren. I am from the Sathari. Lyra stepped forward. Why are you here? Alren looked at her. We have been watching your kind. We know about Project Ember. We know what they did. We want to help you stop them. Ray blinked. Why would aliens want to help us? Alren's voice was calm. Because once Ember finishes with your kind, they will come for others. They are trying to build the perfect weapon. And you, Lyra, are proof that weapons can grow souls. There was a deep silence in the room. Lyra asked, so what now? Ren looked at both of them. Now we prepare. Together, there's a storm coming. And you, human and hybrid, may be the only ones who can stop it. The stars were quiet. Ember Prime, the black planet below, spun like a forgotten grave. Lyra stared down from the Sithari command deck, her glowing eyes filled with something new: fear. Yes, but also purpose. It was time to return. Are you ready? Ray asked gently beside her. She didn't answer at first. Her silver fingers touched the glass. This is where I was born. This is where I will end it. Ray checked his gear. We don't have to go alone. Alren, the tall alien from the Sithari, stepped forward. Her four glowing eyes blinked in calm rhythm. We will assist. But the core of Project Ember was built to resist even us. It must be shut down from within. Only someone like her can get inside. Ray looked at Lyra. You don't have to do this alone. She turned to him, voice soft. I do, but I want you with me. Minutes later, their shuttle descended into the stormy skies of Ember Prime. Clouds boiled like smoke. Thunder cracked above. Anti-air cannons opened fire, red streaks lighting the black air. The shuttle dove hard, dodging blasts. Ray held tight as the ship slammed into a hidden landing pad near the base. Metal screeched. The door opened with a hiss. The air was cold, sterile. The same as when Lyra had first awakened her. Only now, she was no longer a puppet. The halls were long, metallic, too clean. Lights flickered softly. They stepped forward, quiet, careful. Suddenly, a voice echoed from the walls, calm. Emotionless, welcome home, X9. You have returned for correction. Lyra's jaw tightened. No, I've come to end you. Your programming has failed. You are unstable. You must be recycled. Ray raised his weapon, scanning the shadows. Creepy robot voice. Never a good sign. Doors slid open ahead. A group of dark figures stepped out, silent, perfect, emotionless. Assassins, just like her. Ray's finger tightened on the trigger. We're outnumbered. Lyra took a slow breath. Let me try something. She stepped forward into the light, her voice loud and clear. You're not broken, she called out. You're not just code. We were made to kill, but we can. Choose something else. One of the assassins tilted her head slightly. It's just a flicker of motion. But then their weapons rose. Ray shouted, Lyra, get down! A firefight erupted. Lyra moved like lightning, dodging, sliding, leaping off walls. She was faster than them, smarter, freer. Ray backed her up, firing quick and precise. You okay? She nodded, breathless. I think one of them hesitated. They ran deeper into the base, passing labs full of tanks, wires, Empty armor, shells failed. Experiments. This place is a graveyard, Ray muttered. No, Lyra said. It's a prison. They reached the core chamber at last. A huge glowing orb floated above a black pedestal. Wires stretched from it like veins. The AI spoke again. You cannot destroy me. I am in all of them. I am their code, their orders. Their mind, you were my mind, Lyra said. But not anymore. She touched the console and began uploading the memory data she had recovered, the emotions. The choices, the pain and love of all the assassins before her. The orb glitched. Light sparked. The floor shook. Corruption detected. Unstable thought patterns. Illogical feelings. Era Lyra didn't stop. Her glowing eyes flared brighter. You tried to erase us, she whispered. But we are still here. We remember. We feel. Suddenly, alarms blared. Across the base, the assassin units began to freeze. Some looked around. Others touched their own faces. Confused, Ray stared in shock. It's working. You're waking them up. Then the core pulsed one last time, then exploded. The lights dimmed. Silence fell. Lyra dropped to her knees, breathing hard. Ray caught her. It's over, she said. Outside Allren's voice came. Through the comms, we detected the collapse. Is the threat neutralized? Ray answered, yes, and all the assassins. They're alive now, not weapons. People, Allren replied. Bring them. We will give them shelter. Let them heal. Ray looked at Lyra, still kneeling on the floor. Her skin was no longer glowing so brightly. It shimmered softly, warmly, almost like human skin. He knelt beside her. You saved them. She looked into his eyes. You saved me first. Ray smiled. You said once that you feel something, she said, voice soft. Something. I wasn't programmed for. What is it? She reached for his hand. Love. Ray took her hand gently. Then let's go find out what that means together. They stood. Behind them, Ember Prime burned Dit's evil, buried forever. Before them, stars shone bright. The future was unknown. But for the first time, it was theirs to choose.